ending this. Thank you for hanging in there. We are on Facebook Live. We are not on YouTube Live as we originally planned. Technical difficulties and the Be Live staff doesn't seem to be. Oh yeah, and we are in fact live. So if you're chiming into the chat here, please tell us something in the chat so we can see that you're there. Let's see if it's working today. There has been some sync up issues. So what were we talking about, John? What were we talking about? We were talking about WWE figures, but you were talking about how you were, at home and what's going on. So let's fill us in on that.
Yeah, so things are continuing to ramp up here on the East Coast. Basically, all arm wrestling has been canceled. The Nova Scotia Sports Authority came out and said, well, this was like a week ago, and they're like, well, sporting events can still happen, but no shaking of hands, which, kind of puts us in a difficult position. So Atlantic Championships, which were at the end of the month, they got canceled. Practices are all canceled. I think we're doing a 2-week provisional cancellation on that. But I guess we'll see, things are not looking like they're moving forward any too quickly. So we shall see.
We shall. So the chat seems to be working because Jeff Frank is tuned in already, as you saw me just throw it up on the screen, and he's promoting the Red Deer Classic. Geez, that's it's kind of the same situation over here. We're kind of dealing with shutdowns and arm wrestling cancellations and, trying to get a hold of this thing. And there seems to be two schools of thought. One of them is that it's not as bad as everyone says it's going to be, and I'm going to do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is we need to take this very seriously and self-isolate and all that kind of stuff. Where do you stand on the whole thing?
I'm not a doctor. I don't know any of the specifics of any of this stuff, so I tend to err on the side of caution. Right now, so my wife, she's home for like 2 weeks. My job is still going, but we've because it's like a retail place, right, where we sell like nerd games, and we have like a painting area and a playing area. So we shut the painting and playing area down, but we still are acting as a retail store. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, to tell you the truth. I have a feeling they might just shut down pretty much all non-essential stuff here in the coming days, but I don't know. But I'm happy. We just moved. So for the last 5 years, we lived in a condo in downtown Halifax, and we just moved like 30 minutes out of Halifax into the woods. So from that perspective, that's really good because I don't have anybody around me whatsoever. I'm just hoping that my home gym gets delivered in the next couple days so that I'm not completely out of the training loop. Because right now I'm pretty much surviving on bands and one 90-pound dumbbell, which you can do a lot of work with, but, it gets a little old after a while,
Well, I have one distinct advantage, and it's basically that I've always trained since my kids were born. I've set up a pretty well-equipped home gym, so
yep.
I haven't missed a beat. In fact, I've probably ramped it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little more time on my hands. I also just moved.
Yeah, I know.
Gobby just moved too. He's going to be in a new house when he tunes in.
Oh, wow.
But I spent my day yesterday finishing up my IKEA furniture that I've been putting off. So
yep, nice.
That's all done. More stuff getting delivered today. Hopefully, it gets delivered without anyone being infected. And I asked people this question: do you personally know anyone that's got COVID-19?
Nope.
I've never had a yes to that yet.
Yeah.
Always they heard of somebody that was exposed to somebody who got sick, but yet I do not know anyone that has been infected with this virus.
Right. So yeah, in Halifax or in Nova Scotia, there's still only as last time I heard, was 7 cases, and I think 4 of those were presumptive or something like that. Maybe it's gone up by now. My understanding is that it's we don't want to overload the medical system, which I don't know about the validity of that, but it sounds like a good idea to not overload the medical system. So I'm just staying away as much as I can, I guess. We're just, we really were pretty much business as usual up until maybe 5 days ago. And then that's when everything started to kind of clamp up because now, well, schools are done here, hair salons are done, everything is on limited hours now for the most part. Restaurants are all shut up except for like takeout and delivery and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. Luckily for me, when the whole thing happened, I had been training really, really hard. So I was actually ready to start deloading for the Ottawa Open. And so I was kind of on the down slide for that anyways, but then that got canceled, of course, which was okay because I was also cutting really hard, and now I don't have to cut now for a while. So I'm not upset about that per se, but it is a bummer. I'm really dealing with the psychological effect of no foreseeable tournament in the future. I mean, the next one for me, now that the Ottawa Open got canceled, would be provincials at the beginning of May. But who knows? Who knows if that'll be happening either at this point.
Well, projections, some people's projections, I should say, is that we may be starting to get back to normal by May.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be right there getting back to normal completely by May. So I'm optimistic that nationals will go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not optimistic that my provincials in May will not be canceled.
Right.
And the only thing that I've done is sign on to be a ref because I don't want to come across as overconfident, but there's nothing at provincials for me right now. So I'm going to forego, which I've done numerous times over the years, and just focus on getting ready for the national championships, which it's not going to affect me pulling wise.
Yeah.
But I was really optimistic that maybe at 6:02, I might be getting a call.
Right.
It's looking like the card 6:01 cannot possibly go forward in its current form.
Yeah, I would be shocked.
Nothing if it was a miracle like this. All of a sudden, the virus is dead. It's it's gone right now. We're a month away from it, and 6 out of those 10 guys aren't going to be traveling.
Right.
And even the 4 that are in it, unless they live in LA, why would you want to go to LA?
No.
Yeah.
No. No. Yeah. My wife and I, we were supposed to go to London, Ontario, like April 6th to go for a family event, but I don't foresee us even doing that. I mean, like Porter Airlines, they're closed down. I know they're a smaller one, but WestJet's limiting things. I think Air Canada's limiting things. So just doesn't seem like a great idea at the moment.
Yeah, like I don't even want to be around anybody that I think, like I'm still showing houses and all in the midst of this. So it's I'll continue to do that. I got to make some money, and things have been going actually fairly steadily in that particular industry, which is amazing to me.
Yeah,
really slowed down. Probably because the bank interest rates have dropped considerably, and you can get it locked in for 5 years. It might be worth it to go and buy your house right now. But
yeah, for sure.
Everything else is taking a shit. Like my stocks have lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And what are going to do? Laugh about it. But
I mean, I guess the solace of it all is that it's the same for everybody, right? So when we come back up, we'll come back up. It's just a matter of, don't make any crazy decisions now. Just wait it out and, go from there.
Well, I had some advice this morning, not directly to me, but through a podcast I listened to that I think it was there was a couple of online casinos where there was sports betting, and their stock from $38 down to $3. And it might be if you have a couple $1,000,
yeah,
that's a good one to buy because when
jump on board,
it's going to rebound hard. once the casinos open back up and sports start up again.
Yeah.
But I mean, have been watching WWE, or isn't that weird?
It's such a I watched both the SmackDown and Raw, and it's just such a different product, right? It's just not the same. It really highlights how pivotal a crowd is. And I think it's the same for arm wrestling, right? You know, the crowd makes the matches in a lot of ways, and you know, arm wrestling to a lesser extent, but I mean, they're talking about still doing WrestleMania, and it's
At the training center.
yeah, at the training center. I think they're going to spread it out over 2 days now, and they're going to pre-tape some of it, from what I hear.
I wonder if they're going to do the Hall of Fame ceremony and all that stuff.
That got canceled. I don't know if they're going to change, if they're still going to do it, but without, you know, all the pomp and circumstance. But
that suck.
Man, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be. And me, like, I have a psychology and sociology background, so I'm thinking like 15 years from now, are we gonna have a heightened rate of hypochondriac adults because they're kids right now, and we're like, it's the virus. The virus is gonna kill us all. You know, and what kind of an impact is that gonna have on youth?
Well, I can tell you for my kids, they're just incredibly bored and they want to get out. And I've downplayed it. I'm like, look, this is precautionary. We're staying home. Like, you guys are at risk. It's just the people that you run into will be at risk. So
right.
You healthy, so they stay healthy.
Yep.
And they get it. And it is what it is. As far as the arm wrestling, I mentioned to Jody yesterday, I've competed in front of no crowds. It's weird.
Yeah.
WAL could pull it off. Just with the cameras and the crew and all that, but it's it would be, I would still tune in and I would buy the product. I want to see what happens in the match. The shit talking that goes on, though, it would be interesting because it's deeply personal when there's no crowd you're talking
about. Man, straight to the bone.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what, you know, the next month or two does, where all these things are getting delayed, and we'll see if, you know, I know, like, Voice of Arm Wrestling, they got like videos every single day now, pretty much. I think they're just living in that gym and just cranking out content.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see a turn inwards more towards the YouTube community for arm wrestling content and whatnot. Because I know that, like, the next 5 videos that I had planned are all out the window at this point in time because none of it's going to be happening.
Well, so I was thinking that exact same thing, that all of the stuff would get ramped up on YouTube, and it has. The challenge will be to make it interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jody was on with me yesterday. We decided that like an hour beforehand. We're like, hey, let's go live. And we did it. And now we're talking 2 days ago here.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, Gobby and I are doing a show with Herman Stevens.
Nice. Oh, that'll be good.
And I mean, who knows? We could probably pump something out daily next week. Like, no promises, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll see what we can do. And the one odd thing is all the podcasts that I regularly listen to seem to take a week off during all this.
Right.
Like, there was a missed one from Chael Sonnen. Joe Rogan didn't slow down at all.
Yeah.
You know, the Glorious House of Gains took a week off because of the Columbus stuff. But
right.
It's I listen to some weird shit, but it's yeah. But I mean, looking forward to the arm wrestling year. Everyone's getting a little worried, and Jeff Frank was talking about the Red Deer Classic, and that's far enough out that we don't need to make any decisions on that right now.
Right, because that's August, right? Beginning of August.
We should be more than good by the time that comes along.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm kind of thinking nationals will be like the next one for me. That I'm like banking on.
Yeah. Well, that's July.
That's July. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I got a wedding to go to in July.
Oof.
It's we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Speaking of other things that are happening later, I signed on to do that round robin, the Mark Davies round robin thing, and I think you're doing the super heavyweight one, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Yeah. That event is pretty cool, and there's a good opportunity to win some money there.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I'm the only super heavyweight signed up.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing the 242s I think it's the month before. But I haven't heard anything as far as who else is going to do it. And Clifton Erickson just got a hold of me, and it's being held. That one's being held in Hutchinson, Minnesota, which is only like 2 hours from where my parents live. So I figured I'd go to that, and it's a good one for after Worlds and all that. And I'll have my weight down by then, so I kind of wanted to explore some more different types of tournaments with that too.
And that's far enough out that we should have no concerns over that. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if China is any indication, we could be looking at a downswing in this after a month or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for sure. Because I just don't know. The big question is, how long will people are already having a difficult enough time just following some basic rules, and it's like, at what point does it really start to grate on people? The staying at home with the kids, not going to work. I mean, some people are just out of their jobs completely, so that's another thing, and we'll see if any of this. Like in the U.S., they're proposing a bunch of stuff. I'm not even sure what they're proposing here as far as, assistance goes and whatnot, but hopefully sooner than later.
Well, I mean, there's lots of good things that the Prime Minister announced. But we need to see some pretty swift action on these things.
Yeah.
I'll be filling out applications because I'm sure at some point things will slow down.
Right.
But I guess we'll see. I mean, everyone's kind of worried and on the chopping block, and we'll get through it though.
Yeah.
I had somebody, I won't name names because I think that this paints them in a certain poor light yesterday, but he was telling me how stupid this all is, and that people are losing their jobs and they don't have money, and like they should be. What if they live on part-time in the States and part-time in Canada? How is that fair? And I thought, man, your perspective is off.
Yeah.
Because you're going to just throw caution to the wind and let everyone do everything they want, and it's going to kill people.
Yeah. I think that it's hard for some people to take in, because it is unprecedented, right? Like, obviously this is something that no one really in anyone's current lifetime has experienced. So, like, when you look at a thing like the schools are trying to figure out how to do like distance learning stuff, and they're doing it just flying by the seat of their pants, right? Yeah. Like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to set it up?
Well, my daughter's school has been sending me home about 10 emails a day on instructions and assignments, and I feel like I'm back in school.
You got to learn that new math.
Yeah. SATV is in the house.
Oh, Craigie.
Yeah. The new math. So I'm not going to try to learn that.
So other than that, like, I guess bottom 8 is not technically canceled, but delayed or postponed until further notice, because that's just as bad as far as, people coming from out of the country. So that was going to be another one I was going to go to. And so it's just so unfortunate that it's like 601 is going to take a hit, bottom 8 is going to take a hit. There's a lot of local stuff that's going to take a hit. It's just going to be. Meh.
Drellick. Breaking announcements will be coming out for each state all day, I am guessing, until they decide whether to lock down the whole USA. There might be a virus, but this is social engineering at its best. Stay tuned for breaking announcements.
Yeah.
Well, it could be. But I mean, it's a powerful enough thing that we should also take it seriously.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's really hard because there's also this weirdness of, it seems like maybe we certainly weren't getting the full story from the beginning.
No.
You know, there was some shenanigans going on with China stuff and whatnot. But so I think that really hurt a lot of the perception of it, you know, to begin with, was the lies out of the gate.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just like, well, if I can stay home, I'm just going to stay home.
Yeah, I don't hate being at my house.
No.
I got a gym here.
Yeah.
I've been on the internet more than I've ever been. And I can do marketing from the comfort of my home.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited. This will be the first time in my life that I have a home gym, right? So I'm getting arm wrestling table is on the way. I'm getting a nice cable machine, pulley system, full complement of dumbbells, and a power rack. So that for me is going to, I think, be a game changer for me, because I've never really taken like the full body experience to the next level. It's all about just arm wrestling stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My wife's mad that I didn't mention spending time with my wife.
Ah, well, that's the best part, right?
That is the best part. It was a game changer for me. Like the home gym is something, as long as you can stay motivated and remove distractions. Like I used to have TV in my home gym, had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Get rid of all that stuff and just focus on training and have some music, and away you go.
Yeah.
But I also switched up my regimen completely. So I'm up at 5:15 every day, almost.
Yeah.
I'm in the gym by 6. When it's done, it's done. I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day, and anything that pops up, I don't have to worry about skipping my workout.
Right.
And there's still one gym in my town that's open, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a little nuts.
But yeah. So is it still just up to the owners at this point in Manitoba?
Nothing has been ordered to shut down. Lots of businesses have just done it on their own. Mm-hmm. I think some local municipal governments have asked restaurants that don't have drive-through service to close down. Drive-throughs can stay open. There is a local restaurant in town here, Mr. Mike's, that is doing a curbside pickup. They don't have a drive-through, but you can phone your order in.
Nice.
And they will actually give it to you on the curb. So with a heavy discount, like it's a really strange time for my town, because the town itself, the city, has actually grown exponentially very recently.
Okay.
And the businesses that have popped up are relatively new. So when you're starting up a business, this is not the situation you want to be in.
Brutal.
And they're doing what they can. And I think we'll come out on the other side of this just fine. But
yeah, I think it we'll survive it. It'll just be a matter of what are the ramifications of surviving it. You know, things might be different. I mean, things as simple as movie theaters, right? So movie theaters for the most part are closed down, and now the big movie companies are going to release movies on video on demand when they would be coming out in theaters.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this question of, do theaters survive? You know, I think they probably will, but it could be there's lots of those little types of things that might change significantly after this.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. The local theater in town here is closed, obviously.
Yeah.
But that recently changed ownership.
Ah,
So you could consider them a new business. And
yep.
they're losing thousands of dollars every day.
Man, bad news.
All right, Clifton, I see your comment. What about the 2020 Davies round robin? We were just talking about that. You're late. Why don't you? It's a supers is going to be insane. So tell us about the supers. Who else is in there, Clifton?
Yeah, who's in the supers and who's in the 42s?
Yes, in the 40. Give us an update, Clifton. I will post it across the screen once you're done typing. If you type with two fingers, we'll know it.
So that will actually be the first time I've ever been in a round robin. I've never done one before.
It's a different. I was in one in Ontario that Mark Zalepa put on, and it was all of the top, well, most of the top super heavyweights in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I was in it. Earl was in it. Mike Gould was in it. Tim Bresnan was in it,
Oh, nice.
and Rick Barbet, and a couple other guys. And it was fun. I think I ended up getting, at the time I got third. So it went Tim Bresnan, Earl, myself, and then Mike, I think.
Okay.
But
And that was all right hand?
that was all right hand. Yeah, round robin style. 8
Nice.
guys.
That's cool. That's a lot of you're right, it is very different. It's kind of like a hybrid of a tournament and a super match, kind of.
Yeah, it is. Somewhere in the middle there, yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really excited. So let me just babble about where I'm at for 2 seconds, just to put it straight in my own mind.
You're talking about your weight and the whole thing, right?
Yeah, weight, my progression in arm wrestling. So I've been arm wrestling for like 9 years now, and so I went hard for like 4 or 5 years and got myself to a respectable level, and then I moved out here to Halifax and started training out here. But then I also went to grad school, and grad school like steals your soul and doesn't allow you to do the things in normal life that you want to do. So I feel like I've been arm wrestling for 9 years, but like at least 3 of those years was like nothing, right? It was, I would go to a practice every now and again, and I wasn't training properly. But now I would say since nationals of like 2018, that's when I kicked it in the ass, and now I'm training like a real arm wrestler. So at this point, I feel like I'm definitely the strongest I've ever been in my life, for sure. But I've also picked up some injuries along the way as well. My wrists have been giving me massive problems. I had my right wrist at the beginning of this year, went in and had it, it wasn't an x-ray, but it was like they shoot the liquid in there and then they look at the liquid and they're like, you've fractured like, 5 different bones in your wrist over time, which I'm sure is fairly common in a lot of arm wrestlers, but that it seems to keep happening. It just happened in my left here about a month ago, so I'm just coming back off of that now too. But I'm feeling really good once this home gym thing happens. That I really am shooting to go into the next level, because I see myself as, like, let's say you have WAL level, right? And then you have the guys that are knocking on the door for WAL level. And then there's like this big mishmash of people that are just like scrambling, and there's a lot of different levels. And I'm somewhere in that, I think, especially left-handed. So I'm really hoping that over the next 1 to 2 years, I can put myself in contention for the entry level to, like, whether it's a WAL or I start going and I do something like a Zloty or something like that. That's kind of the goal right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get down to around 3 to 320.
Yeah. How's it going?
Not bad. I started this new meal system. They basically cook for you and have so much protein. And it's a Canadian company, so it's good.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, here's the results. It's 242 plus Dave, Espey, Bagansky, and there are 6 other big names that will be entering in the next 3 to 4 months. I'm expecting by December it will be 7 to 10 each arm. Don't worry, it'll get big. 242. There are 8 left-handed and 5 right-handed. Come on, Clifton. No cop out here. Tell us who they are. Who are the 242s? You can't get excited about numbers if you don't know who they are.
Yeah, I want to know how likely that $1,000 is to go in my pocket.
Yeah, no kidding. Well,
and those are American dollars, so that's like $1,500 Canadian.
Yeah, it's nice when you go down to the States.
Yeah,
when
right.
the dollar is so crappy.
Yeah.
Okay. So he also says, now remember everyone, 10 people come in. It is 1K first each arm. If we are close to 10, we will still bump it up to 1K, but only if it's only 2 people, it's still $600 per arm. Everyone needs to know this is going to get big. Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's great, Clifton, but we need to know those names. Come on.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Dave, you've arm wrestled Dave left-handed for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got the juice to get that over. Right-handed Andrew Bagansky. I'm sure you've probably arm wrestled him a bunch of times.
I had a super match with him. It was December, I believe, of 2018.
Okay.
And it was at the King of the North tournament.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew's right is pretty fast and scary, and I know last time I saw he was down in weight a bit. I don't know what his weight is at now, but yeah, you got to be ready for that fast flop.
Yeah, I mean, I beat him in straight matches. I didn't take a loss in our super match.
Yep.
But yeah, he is strong.
Yep.
And he's training. And where's the 1,000 for 242 lefty? Evan Burgoyne says, I'm pretty sure there is $1,000 for lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's left and right.
Yeah.
Hutchinson, I think it's October 10th, I think it is.
So there you go, Evan, or if you're committing to that, you should tell us here so we can, yeah. How do you feel, John, about pulling Evan Burgoyne? Have you guys ever?
I really want to pull Evan again. So I've only pulled him a few times, but it's like we have a little bit of history, right? So I pulled him at the Mike Gould Classic in 2013 when we were both just like a year or so into pulling, and I beat him left-handed there. And then we didn't meet up with each other at all until the nationals that were in Halifax. And that was, 2017, I think? And so then we met up in that tournament, and he beat me left-handed one match, and he got second to Mike, and then I got third. I don't know, Evan. I don't know you're training hard. Your right hand is training hard, but I don't know about your left, man. I don't know if you heard, but I got a home gym now. I think you're screwed.
Let's not count your chickens here yet. The delivery guys haven't showed up.
No, I like
by tomorrow.
I appreciate what Evan is in the arm wrestling community, I think. Because sometimes you need that type of guy who's able to, do what he does, and you can like what he does or not, but I think it does play a role. And if he can make me look like a better good guy, then I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah, every face needs a heel,
right? Yeah. So no, but I have a good respect for Evan's abilities. I know he trains hard. I think Evan is a much smarter arm wrestler than most people give him credit for. but I'm still gonna spank him left-handed for sure. For sure. Right-handed, he'll probably annihilate me right-handed, but yeah. I'll give it a go. But I would say my right hand is getting a little better too. It's not great, but it's coming along.
Well, as things ramp up, now that we don't have the trash talk of the bottom 8 anymore,
Mm-hmm. We're gonna create some new stuff.
Really looking forward to that. I wanted to. He says, wait a minute.
No. Spoiler.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to some of those matches. In fact, I'll tell you here, we actually had, we got Herman tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, we've got Laba coming on the show.
Oh, Laba.
And he said, well, what do you guys want me on there for? The bottom 8's canceled. I got nothing to talk about. And I said, man, you still got lots to talk about.
Yeah. And, just give him a topic, and I'm sure he'll rattle on for however long.
Very entertaining show. And sometimes when people have nothing scheduled or planned, it's some of the best stuff.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how good or how bad Laba actually is. Because he looks bad. But I don't know how bad.
Well, man, the photo he sent me to use on the graphic is back from when he pulled at WAL in Chicago, and he kind of looks like he's in shape.
Yeah? In that picture or now?
Well, then, and I actually think he was training for bottom 8. I believe he was training for this. Mm-hmm. And, beer drinking aside and mixing up Nat Fit protein with cans of beer.
Gotta appreciate that.
That must have tasted awful.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I mean, the bottom 8, I really love the idea of the bottom 8. And I was really excited for what matches like Juji versus Larry we're going to be able to do for arm wrestling in general. Because I think that'll be really good, because both those guys are like so fantastically popular online that it's, it's the same thing with RVJ and Eddie Hall, right? It's just about getting more people into it. And, I understand the argument on both sides of like RVJ and Eddie about, well, there's more people who, deserve a shot. Yeah, but I'm in the camp where I think that having those types of matches will get you the money, and the money will allow the other people to get more matches, the more deserving arm wrestlers.
Yeah.
And that's the theory anyways.
Yeah, more eyes is always a good thing, and it creates opportunities for the guys that hate the fact that non-arm wrestlers are getting opportunities.
Yeah.
But see past it a little bit, don't step over dollars to pick up nickels.
Yeah. And have you talked about who you think is going to win in these 601 matches when they do eventually happen?
We haven't done an official prediction show, but I mean, we can talk about that right now if you want.
Sure.
I think I made it pretty clear that I think RVJ is going to, unless he goes into the lane where Eddie Hall is the strongest, he should win that match.
Yeah. Now, do we know for sure that it's left-handed?
Yes.
Okay, it is for sure left-handed. So, yeah, I think you talked about this before too, but that video that Eddie put out with Neil, and when Neil was arm wrestling with him, and then the other guy who was like a UK national champion, but a really light guy, and you could tell that Eddie just, obviously he's massively strong, but he doesn't know what he's doing yet.
Right.
Yeah. That was pretty clear to me. Now, you're right. If Rob is just lets him go into like a press position, he might just be able to muscle through. But I think there's exactly a 0% chance that Eddie wins the whole thing.
Yeah, I think you're going to end up seeing 3-2 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the question now, my hope is that they don't set it up like Aiello and Jujimufu, because that was fake. That was real fake.
Well, did you hear what I said on our show?
Yeah, I did, and I'm glad he confirmed it.
Yeah.
That was that, because there was a lot of people like, oh my God, Juji is so strong, and by all means, I am thrilled that Juji is a part of it, but the whole fake thing just grinds me,
Like, oh my God, it's in the straps. Juji's a strap technician. He's going to take down. Oh, look, the guy up and down. Yeah.
That's a T-shirt right there. Juji is a strap technician.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Eddie Hall legitimately has a chance to progress and be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in a couple of months, to be able to pull a guy that's as accomplished as RVJ,
Yeah,
even left-handed,
yeah,
I don't know. It was, yeah. Anyway, the match that is least likely to happen, the women's match.
right, because we've got Sweden and Russia.
Yeah, Sweden and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pick a winner on this one.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I will pick Klein Smith to win, just
You're
because of performance.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what you have to. They're both super decorated. They both have a ton of experience, but Mullen has way more WAL experience.
Yes, and she's going on Jody's show today, by the way, people.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we got the day covered for content, pretty much, for anybody who's stuck at home.
Pretty much, yeah. All the way from Sweden.
Yeah, so I think for me, I would go with Mullen as well, but I think it's so close. But we've seen it time and time and time again, where the person who has less or no WAL style experience has a lot of trouble out of the gate. Now, maybe it won't happen, but it's past behavior tends to be a predictor of future behavior. So that's where I'd lay my money.
Yeah.
But it's going to be awesome. I'm. That's maybe my the second most exciting match for me.
What's the first most exciting match?
I want to see Devin and Michael, not because, just because I want to see the spectacle of it.
I have got. Well, let's talk about that one, then we can cover the other ones. But I think I will still take Michael.
Yeah.
But I'm 60-40 on that one. It's not like I'm saying there's no chance for Devin here. There's obviously a chance if the match happens. So
it's really great that it's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Devin tends to give us little glimpses at what he does, and Michael like shows you exactly what he's doing, right, in his videos. And it's so wildly different from each other, right? Like Devin's training style and Michael's training style are like light years apart.
Yeah, Devin's is unlike anything that I've seen. It's like micro workouts throughout the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would never get anything done if I did that style.
Yeah, obviously it's doing something for him.
Yeah.
But the other thing with that is it's doing something for Devin when he has, you have to look back 20, 25 years at every injury and every surgery and, the development across time. Whereas I think a lot of new people, they're like, well, this is what Devin does, so this is what I'm going to do. Right?
Yeah.
And that is
funny how that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not going to work out. Like I have a lot of people that message me about like, hey, what do you think I should do? I'm following the John Brzezinski style of training or the Devin style of training and stuff like that. And usually my general response is, you know what? Especially if it's a young person, somebody that's like in their late teens or early 20s, I'm like, look, if I could go back to 18 years old, I would focus so much more on making my entire body strong, right? And just getting everything set and ready. And then, once that happens, then really go balls to the wall with the specific training after that.
Well, I came from I thought when I was 18 years old, I thought I was going to be a bodybuilder.
Yep.
And I discovered that I liked eating too much. And then I kind of progressed into competing in strongman. And somewhere along the line, I stepped out of all of strongman and arm wrestling almost paralleled each other.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the line, I was doing mixed martial arts and running and then powerlifting for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of got a wide variety of training knowledge and history to pull from. But none of that stuff means that you should follow exactly what I do or what Devin does. It's all going to be slightly different. The principles will be the same,
Yeah.
but there are things that are going to need to change on an individual basis. In arm wrestling, you might see the most drastic difference in styles of any sport. Guys that do strictly table training, a couple times a week, guys that do strictly gym, hybrids of that. It's all over the map, and that's one of the things that makes our sport so interesting. There are certain things that I think I don't agree with, and certain like apparatuses and handles that I think are absolute garbage. There are some that I think are very good, some that I think are just gimmicky and cool looking. And I'm not going to say what those are because I'm affiliated with some companies. Plus, I don't want to get sued for telling everyone not to buy this particular plastic handle because it's a piece of shit and doesn't do anything for you. It puts you in a position that's not conducive to arm wrestling. But I think if you watch back in the videos, you'll know what those are.
Yeah.
It's everyone kind of figuring out their own path.
Well, and I think, part of it is making those mistakes and trying things that aren't going to work. That has definitely sculpted who I am as, an arm wrestler and as just someone who tries to train to be strong. I've got a whole box full of handles right now that I've either made or bought or whatever. Realistically, I really keep going back to like 3.
Yeah.
And that's the core of it.
Like the obscenely huge handles that have your hand this far open.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
But it is what it is. I mean, sure, cupping or the wrist, but there's an old drill in Krav Maga. You know what Krav Maga is?
I know of it. I don't know the specifics. But
it's an Israeli self-defense system that I used to practice. And one of the things is when you disarm somebody with a handgun, you then back away and leave. And the reason they started doing the drill that way is because they used to disarm the guy and they would hand the gun back to him. Disarm the guy, hand the gun back to him. As part of the training, you repeat that. Well, a cop in the States disarmed a guy and then out of sheer muscle memory handed the gun back to him and the guy shot him.
Oh my God.
So it's habit and positioning and getting used to being in certain positions, I think, is incredibly important.
Yeah. For sure. All right. So back to the original Devin versus Michael.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be close as well. I think we're definitely looking at a 3-2, most likely. But I am going to go with Devin from the psychological point of view. Michael's been on top for a bit now. He's had a lot of good wins. And I think that Devin took a psychological hit the last time he went against Michael. And then, Dennis and all this stuff. So I think he mentally he's ready to win.
I think that all of those reasons also apply to Michael. I think he has something to prove maybe after the Jerry match. I think he's extra motivated. I think he's coming in here with intentions of not just beating Devin, but beating him decisively and 3-0. And I'm going to go with Michael. I'm not
Wow.
saying it's going to be 3-0, but I think it's going to be Michael that comes out on top.
Wow, it'll be interesting, and that will really say something. Either way, if Michael or Devin is able to like dominate somehow, that'll be interesting. If Michael dominates, he'll go to number one, or be way more secured in that discussion between him and Levin.
Well, we actually had a little bit of this yesterday, and I mentioned that if Michael gets by Devin decisively, he then goes over. I mean, aside from a match with Jerry, the only guy left is Levon.
Yep.
And if he goes and beats Levon, drop the mic, walk away, go do the movies.
Right. That's it. That's the end of it then.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we skipped some matches.
Yeah, we certainly did. What about the Natural versus the Angry Bird?
It's kind of funny, this one, because I've been listening to Neil's podcast where he's talking with the Angry Birds coming across. He's trying to pull like a real heel roll out of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Natural. 3-0 decisively. And just because it's going to piss Wilmot off so much.
Whenever I see Jamie, he looks so huge. I don't know if he's just a master camera manipulator or what, but I don't understand how he's 165 pounds. Like, he's so big. I just don't understand. Now, for me, I'm going to go with Jamie as well, but I do like Adam's, like, he will die. He will die on the table.
Yeah.
Right? And I do appreciate that, and I like that a lot. So that's, his performance is kind of what makes me excited for the match. But I just see Jamie as he's so big, and I think he's going to be able to bully Adam around the table a little bit.
I think if Adam wins any matches, they'll be the early rounds.
Yeah.
I think if Jamie comes in and wins the first one, it's over.
Very likely. Very likely. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he can do, what Adam can do because we saw it against Jeff Hale where he came in and he was like riding that adrenaline hard. And he really, I don't know if he does it consciously or if it's just the way he's wired, but he was at like 100 and he never came down until the end of that match, So we'll see what that is. Cause I see Jamie as more of a thinking, calm type of puller. Whereas Adam is going to bring it.
Yeah. He'll make smart adjustments as the match goes on. So, yeah. But I'll take Jamie.
Yeah, as will I.
Yeah.
Okay. What is that? Is that 4?
Who are we missing?
We're missing BLM and Bowen.
This match is incredibly hard. You go first, Matt, because this one I could switch back and forth on this thing. By the time we're done talking, I could tell you one thing right now, and by the time we're done our conversation, I might change my mind.
Right. All right. So Bowen will universally win any poll that is posted anywhere online.
100%.
Right? He's just so much more well-known. He has such a larger fall. What's that?
Everyone said Chance was going to beat him, didn't they?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And when he won against Chance so dominantly, I think that changed a lot of perspectives, right? Because it wasn't really, in my opinion, it wasn't really all that close.
I can just add one thing. It looks like Bowen is willing to give away a match just to find the path.
Yep. And that's a scary thing to do, and he's been doing it well. But to this match, Ryan he's riding an avalanche down the hill right now. He's been winning. He's had great matches in WAL. He's been going all over the world. But Brendan is like, he's just like this guy who's just working with the old school methods. He's just like twisting pipes and cutting trees, and like he's just getting strong that way. And I've never pulled Brendan, but everything I've seen is just he's so fantastically explosive. So I think it's going to come down to is he explosive enough over time? I think for sure he will get the first match. The question will be, does he have enough to maintain that adrenaline flow? Because he's another guy that uses that adrenaline, and like he can barely contain himself at the table, and he uses it well. But if Ryan slows him down and bleeds him, is he going to be able to maintain at that level of throughout the entire match? I'm not sure, but I am going to go with Brendan.
See, I go back to what I have seen of Brendan, and the one match that I keep thinking about, and I know it was a long time. Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was less than a year. Is when he pulled CJ Twine.
Yep.
Now, in that match, Brendan looked like he was getting more and more tired, and that was only the best of 3.
Right.
I know Brendan's been training,
Mm-hmm.
But CJ looked like, had that been the best of 5, he had a real shot at winning that. He started to get better positions as the matches kept restarting. And I think the last he actually fouled himself out. But I hope, and I know BLM is super smart, and he's taking notes, learning every time he loses or comes even close to losing. So I don't know, man. Like this is a tough one for me to pick. BLM is I think a much bigger guy than Ryan. I think he probably wins.
Yeah.
Give him the first 2 matches, and then hopefully the third. But then if they weren't using a fair strap in the CJ match, the Wall wanted it to be 2-1. Okay, that's what Evan says for the CJ Twine match. The fairer strap. Yeah, they have not started using the fairer strap yet. I remember that because we had the option during the rules meeting.
Right.
That's probably where I pulled Jerry. But Brendan, yeah, I'll take him for the win.
Yeah.
And BLM probably got it, but we'll know the outcome by match 2. I think how match 2 goes, if BLM barely pulls him over for a win, Ryan's probably winning the next 3.
It's very possible. It's very possible. I think it will also, I could see it coming to 2-2, and then it will be a matter of if Brendan can learn enough from the 2 losses to change things up. I know he's capable of making those changes, but it's not as easy as it seems when you got the lights going and the crowd there, and your adrenaline's going 100 miles a minute.
Or the lights but no crowd.
Or the lights but no crowd, pending what happens. Yeah, that could be even weirder. So, yeah, that's another really, really good match.
Yeah, I think it might be one of the, I think the WAL has done an amazing job of 4 out of the 5 matches for pure matchmaking, and the 5th one is one to draw eyes to the sport. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of rules with the WAL, with the straps and whatnot, I did go on there since I'm a rules stickler. They have not updated the rules since last year on the website, and I did shoot an email out. Obviously, WAL has bigger things going on than answering my stupid email about rules, but I haven't heard back. So there's nothing currently in the rules about using like larger straps for heavyweights or any of the changes that they kind of talked about at the end of last year. So, yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with that.
I mean, they should probably get those updated if that's what the plan is, which is what they said.
Right.
So who knows? It'll definitely be updated before Michael has a rematch with Jerry.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that's still win, lose, or draw. That match still needs to happen for sure. The Michael and Jerry rematch.
Well, yeah. I mean, win or lose, Michael will probably have that match next, unless Gennady comes in here and just steamrolls, which is possible. That happens as well.
Right. Man, I'm excited to see that guy for sure.
They got to pick his match carefully because there's a lot of hype about Gennady coming in.
Who do you think is the guy? Who would you say?
Depends. Do you want to build him slowly?
Or do you want to come in like a rocket? Yeah.
Or you want to come in and be thrust right into the title picture? I mean, if it's the latter, then Jerry is the match.
Right.
If you want to build him up, I think, and it's even risky then, but if you were to give him, say, Matt Mask.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Not only because they match up really well, but Matt's also extremely popular, and a lot of people are going to have eyes on the match.
Yeah, that would be a hyper exciting match for sure.
So 602 maybe, but
yeah,
that all depends. Like if Matt's ready to return or not. I think sometimes when WL calls, even if guys weren't planning on competing or ready to compete, they say yes.
Right. Because who knows when the call is going to come again, right?
I wish it were as easy as the UFC used to when they had somebody pull out on short notice. They would offer somebody a fight, and the person would usually agree to take the fight, but they would have a 2-match guarantee because they know they haven't trained as hard as they should for the
right
match they're to, so they don't want to lose and be forgotten.
Right.
They want that contract for a second fight. That is something that would be interesting if the WAL was willing to do that, particularly because they may need to rebuild the 601 card with all American arm wrestlers.
Right. Well, that's really the big question is for WAL at this point, would that be better to have the show go on all empty with a modified card, or do you just postpone the whole thing? But if you postpone, they might not be able to have a sports gathering for 2-3 months. Who knows?
Yeah, and they would need to make that decision this week.
Yeah.
So they can at least hype up the new card.
Yeah. It's just such a shame. Like, it sucks.
It does suck, but
oh god,
it is what it is. I mean, they are the ones that are on the bubble. I think is 601. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, anyway, brother, I'm going to get interrupted here pretty soon with a furniture delivery. So,
right on, man. Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. We should keep this up over the next quarantined couple of weeks, and
absolutely, I'll be here. I'm just going to be setting up my gym. I'll next time I'll give you a gym tour.
Right on, and maybe we'll get a couple of 3-way or 4-way people on here, and we'll.
Sounds great.
All right, brother. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in and watching, and you, sir, enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely. Take it easy, buddy.